What's going on YouTube? My name is FG3000, back in the place to be, and welcome back to the MMO Hopper. Today we're taking a look at Rift, but in this video it's just going to be a quick little discussion about the recently added multi-core support to this title. Now, really quick background if you're not familiar, Rift came out at a time where dual core processors and multi-core processors were a thing, but they weren't exactly mainstream, and because of that, Rift was basically coded and developed with a single core processor in mind. Nowadays, even your phone has like 8 core processors. Like my phone right now is a hexa-core. If you have like a Samsung Galaxy, it's like an octa-core. So multi-core is definitely a thing now, but it wasn't really a thing back then, at least not mainstream-wise. So recently what they have done is that they went back through their title and recoded it with multi-core processing in mind. So basically all that means in a nutshell is more FPSs, more FIPS, way more FIPS than before. At least that's the idea. That's basically what this video is all about. Let's test it and let's see what type of FPS jump that we get. Back when I used to play Rift, I don't really remember performance being like the thing that bothered me. Like, I don't really remember that being like something that I harped on, like, that game performed so crappy. I don't really remember that being a thing. But of course, you know, maybe it was and I just don't remember. Right now, and of course I'm recording, so we kind of have to take everything I say with a grain of salt. But just to kind of give you a frame of reference, right now, I'm about 67 frames per second. When I do this crazy little spin around, I drop to about 54. But right around 65 frames per second is where we are right now with single core. And when I stand still, about 75 frames per second. So let's go into the options here. Pretty easy to select. Single core right here. You go to true multi-core support. Click apply, click OK. Immediately as I'm standing still, I jump up to 91 frames per second. I was at 75 standing still, so 91. Walking around, I'm right around 85. When I do this crazy spin around, I drop to about 80. So there is definitely an FPS jump with multi-core support. So they've definitely done a good job. So it looks like, you know, right around 10 to 20 frames per second is what you can expect. So if you were playing Rift before and maybe you were playing, you know, you had a computer that can only get you about 20 frames per second or something like that, this will get you to a playable 30 frames per second if you have a multi-core processor. So definitely worth taking a look at if that's something, if that was a gripe that you had with Rift back in the day, that you just couldn't run it well enough. And of course, unfortunately, you know, I do have a level 44 character, but I don't really have a way to get into a raid or anything like that. I've been gone for a long time, so I really can't tell what raiding performance might be. But just kind of in the general world, you definitely do get a nice FPS jump. And I'd be shocked if that FPS jump didn't transfer into a raiding environment as well. I'm actually going to go back to the main town if I can remember how to teleport back home. If I were a betting man, there I go. There I go. Let's go back to the main town. And while we're in the main town, we can talk about Rift and see how many people are playing it and kind of get an idea of the population as well. Which is what I normally do in the MMO Hopper. Play a bunch of games, judge it based on gameplay and population and all that good stuff. So why waste an opportunity? Alright, so welcome to Sanctum. If you've never played Rift before, this is the main city. I gotta remember how to get out of this little area. That's the throne room. I think it's back over here. I think if I go over here. So right now, I'm at 35 frames per second here in town. So I'm actually going to turn off multi-core support really quick. Wow, my FPS dropped super fast. I have everything on ultra though, keep that in mind. I keep everything on max. Right now I'm at 29 frames per second. Yeah, ouch. Okay, 40 when I'm standing still. Hey there. Naked lady. No time to flirt with you right now. I'm doing a real video here. Sorry. All right. Back here, about 35 frames per second, so it's about the same. But let's go over here really quick. And let's see, because I was at what? Oh wow, yeah. So I dropped down to about 24. You can see the video kind of stuttering a little bit. Drop down to about 24 in here. So even the fact that I got 35 in the city with the multi-core, that's good. It's the difference between it running smooth and running choppy like it is right now. It's definitely more choppy now. So let's jump back up to true multi-core support. Click apply, and 44 standing still, about 35 when I walk, and it doesn't have all the herky-jerky. So definitely a win. They definitely did pull off what they intended to do here to give people more FPS for the same computers that they've had. Wait, hold on, wait a minute. How come I don't have AA on? I hate when you put Ultra on and they don't put on AA. Come on. But anyway, looks like Tryon accomplished what they wanted to accomplish, is basically squeeze out a little bit more FPS for their users, and they've definitely done that. It doesn't look like you're going to get crazy... Man, I'm starting to stutter a little bit again. It doesn't look like you're going to get crazy FPS jumps when it comes to the main cities. And I would probably have to wager that if you are going to raid, you're probably not going to be able to raid on Ultra, even with this true multi-core support. Because even in town right now, with this multi-core, I'm hovering right around 35. If everybody was doing all kinds of crazy spells and whatnot, and a boss is running around, you're probably going to have to at least turn it down to high, I would imagine. And before we end this video, let's do that really quick. Let's go down to high, and let's see what we get here. This is probably what you would raid with. I'm right around 45, 50 frames per second, so this is probably what you would raid with if you use this true multi-core support. Don't really see... There's a few people out here. Raven Wing, what up, guys? Little dwarves. Let's see. Let's see how populated this little area is. Look at this food buff. Can I eat it? Ah, that sucks. Not like, wow, anybody can come by and just eat it. But anyway, that's it. I don't want to make this video too long. This is more of a PSA letting you know that this is available. So if you were one of those players that did have a little bit of frames issues here in Rift, you can definitely squeeze out a lot more FPS with the true multi-core support that has been added into the game. Right now I'm at 58 frames per second now, 65 because I turned it down to high, even in this kind of busy town. So you can definitely squeeze out some FPS, and I think regardless of whatever computer you have, you'll probably at least get about in between 5 to 20 FPS depending on the area. So that's all I got. Once again, my name is FG3000. This is my level 44 High Elf Cleric. No shoes, baby. If you give me the option to make a female character and I can like basically use armor but hide it if I want to, I'm taking my shoes off immediately. For whatever reason, I love this look. Just the no shoe look. It's just great. Anyway, guys, I'm rambling. I'm FG3000. This is the MMO Hopper, and I'll see you next video. Later.